Okay, doing 3. These are kind of hard.
Put your shoulder into it.
Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious.
Recipe we've been using here at Logan since 1933. Same recipe, same marble slab, same hook on the wall, which is behind her right here. Same stove right here and same heater. Now we also do candy canes for just about every holiday you can imagine. Of course, we're doing red, white, and blue for 4th of July. We had them for Memorial Day. We'll try to have them for Veterans Day also. Of course, we'll hopefully carry red, white, and blue through the Olympics. That's all it takes to flavor the entire batch. Now luckily it doesn't take too much because it does run about $500 a gallon. But a gallon does go a long, long way. So remember, the candy cane is all white in the middle, and the striping just goes on the outside edge to give it its ornate coloring. So I'm not counting how many times we pull it. We're just going to keep pulling until we get a nice bright white. Every batch is slightly different. A little bit of a rectangular cube here. I'm going to put those two together like that. So as you can see there's my colors there. That's going to make up our 5 little red stripes right there. Stretching it out. And following stripe number 3, next will be stripe number 4. Very good. And last but not least, our final stripe will be stripe number 5. You guys all see that? There you go. I'm going to set that right on top of the old block there, just like that. Stretch that one out just a little bit. And we're going to put the blue on this other side right here, just like that. You can see here, on this side right here, we have our 5 little stripes. You guys all see that there? And on this side here, we have our 1 big blue stripe. Any bowlers? Anybody bowl out there? So got down this extra bit right here. We're going to put it right here for a little later. Now, if you watch very carefully, I'm going to begin to pull this out here. Give it a little pull. Give it a little tug. Give it a little stretch. And right before your very eyes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have the candy cane. Woohoo! Spearmint, watermelon, root beer, and we just added toasted marshmallow. Now we turn this white here in just a minute. We're going to turn it white all naturally. We're not going to add any color to it to make it turn. So I go to the gym any time of the year. This is all the workout I did right here. I do drive by the gym a lot because my favorite donut shop is right next door. Put a little bit of that on both sides of the block here. Our pink stripe, and now that on the outside of the white stripes. Stretch this on out here. Gonna roll that over on this side. Now I've got my stripe pattern on both sides of the block there. I'm gonna wrap this all the way around the outside edge to give it our red striping, just the way we want to. But we're gonna go ahead and cut you guys some samples.
Okay, first time ever, trying 4.
4.
Let me line them up. They're gonna get stuck together.
Not sure you have enough weight to do this.
I think I do. Oh no. We lost a piece.
All 4. Woo! Yeah! So we're going to pull off our first piece here for a little stripe. We're doing root beer, so we're going to start out with our brown stripe. We do the darker colors first, and then we do the lighter colors just because they mix in a little quicker. Just going to add a little bit of brown here. Mix that in a little bit. I'm just going to make sure you get it all mixed in here. just like that. Then we'll mix that in. So we're going to do root beer, so we're just going to add about 1/3 of an ounce here. About like that. And then we're going to mix that in. Now I'm not counting how many times we pull it. We just keep pulling until we get a nice bright white. Sometimes, depending on the flavor or the color of the candy cane, that'll determine how white we need it to be. But we'll just keep pulling until we get a nice white. Also, that's a good way to know exactly how much air you're putting into it. So we'll start out first with our brown stripe here. Just like that. And then on this other side here, we're going to stretch it out and put a little bit of white in there. There's our orange. And then last but not least, on this other side here, stretch out our yellow stripe. And then we're going to stretch the yellow right there. Trying to leave a little bit of room for white there so the stripe comes through. So now we've got our brown and orange on this side. And then we've got our yellow and orange on this side. Anybody bowl? Any bowlers? Take that down to the lanes. Maybe a nice little baseball bat in honor of baseball season. Now, not very effective without my 5 strings, but otherwise I'd sing a little song for you. Or how about this one, a little root beer candy cane whale. I'm gonna stuff it right here for a little later. Just like that. And that'll all pull out at the very end. Touch it out here now, give it a little pull.
How many batches did it take you to perfect this method?
Well, I don't know that I've still perfected it, but we've done thousands and thousands of batches over the years. So we know that these scissors here have cut into certainly the multiple millions of candy canes over the year. Now this little press right here we're going to put it in is about close to 100 years old. We're going to put that over there like that. And you'll put it in, squeeze it, and voila, we have sample. There we go! Alright, so we're going to put on the green on this side. So there's my green stripe. Plant that right here on this side. Sure. Then we're going to take the other side here. We're going to take our pink stripe. And stretch it out just a little bit bigger. Because there's usually a little more pink in the watermelon than green. So we'll stretch that out a little bit. Does kind of, doesn't it? A little sushi roll. So I got my green on this side here. Got my pink on this side here. Any bowlers? Anybody bowl? Take that down to the lanes. Now, not very effective with the guitar here, but if I had 5 strings, I'd give you a little guitar riff there.
That's a banjo.
There you go, a little banjo. How about this one? The big giant fish or whale. Little candy cane tail. Put it in and cool it down a little bit. And we're going to add some color here in just a couple minutes. A little bit different stripe pattern. We're just going to do 4 solid stripes here today. Put that right on top of the block. Just like that. Put that on the block right here. Stretch out our lavender or purple stripe here. Our yellow, purple, and pink. We're going to just stretch it out here a little bit. And then we get it just the right length and thickness. We're going to give it a little twist. And even though they start out dark, you can see we've got a little pastel Easter color there.
Okay.
So we're going to do a little cut. The mask makes me really look old, so. Ready?
Yeah. She's so pretty. She's beautiful.
Over to my right. We have another arm.
I don't like your ones. Hey, this is not bad.
Do the pat pat there. There you go.
I do that because it's too hot. Very hot. Oh God. Hey, I got it back. You're good. It's very hot.
Look at that one. She didn't grab. She just had her hand flat on her shoulder.
What do you mean I didn't grab? Ah, so hot.
Here, I'll take it for a second. You want to go? Cool it down a little bit. We're going to add a little bit of flavor and color. And then in about 20 minutes, we'll be on the table over here pulling out some candy canes. So this is the identical recipe for candy cane or ribbon candy. Last night we made some LA canes. Alright, so we're going to add a little bit of color here. Like I mentioned, we're going to start out with a black stripe, so we're going to add a little bit of black coloring. This is a gel paste color, no flavor whatsoever, just a paste or a gel-based color. All that means it's not a water-based color. If you use a water-based color, it can kind of make the sugar dissolve and sticky a little bit. So we use a gel or a paste-based color. We actually make, at Christmas time was the biggest ribbon candy season. We make about 27 different flavors, every flavor you can imagine. Peppermint, cinnamon, grape, green apple, bubblegum, watermelon, all kinds of different flavors. So I'm just going to fold this in here a little bit. Here and see where we stand. We are still at 190 degrees, so it is still quite warm right there, 190. Orange flavor. About 1/3 of an ounce. Then we're going to add a little bit of Ickle. Just a touch of that, maybe about 1/4 ounce or a little less. Then we're going to mix that in just like we did the color. Sugar crystal, and that's how we turn the candy cane nice and white. You can see here with each and every pull, the color is going to get a little bit lighter and a little bit lighter. Remember, we started out with 20 pounds total weight. Remember, this red thing we're working with here is a heater, gasoline heater. Not trying to hide anything, just trying to keep it nice and warm. Just kind of falling right there, see that? And we're going to stretch that out a bit here. I'm going to put it right on top of the old block here, just like so. Then we're going to take our orange stripe. I'm going to put that on the other side of the block here, like so. So now, as you can see here on this side here, I've got my big giant black stripe. On this side here, I've got my big orange stripe. Any bowlers out there? Anybody bowl? Maybe you can take that down the lanes. How about any baseball fans? Dodgers could use a big bat like that about now. Now, it's not very effective to do this one without my 5 string. To give you an idea, if I had 5 strings, I'd sing a little song for you. Or how about this one here? A big giant fish or a whale with the candy cane tail. Of course, it just looks like a big giant candy cane to me. But hey, I like that. Nice job. It looks like a pumpkin there. Right? Take this orange stripe, grab it right to the top of the block here. Take it about a third of it there, just like that. It's kind of heavy, they're not too bad though. As you can see, I'm incredibly, I'm just kidding. All right, then we're gonna take our yellow stripe. We're gonna put that right here on the other side of the block. And then last but not least, we'll take our brown stripe here. And we'll put it right here on the other side of the block, just like that. There's Bailey, my favorite dog. Thank you. All right, so now as you can see here on this side here, I've got my yellow and orange. And then on this side here, I've got my brown stripe. Anybody out there bowl? Any bowlers? Maybe you can take that down the lanes. How about any baseball fans? Maybe they ask for a big giant candy cane baseball bat. Now that my 5 stripes, you got to use your imagination a little bit. But if I had 5 stripes, I'd give you a little guitar riff. I might even sing, but it's not a pretty sound. So, or how about this one? A very fun-looking colored whale with a candy cane tail. Last year, by December 28th or 29th, we had made over 100,000 candy canes, one by one, just like you're watching now. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. Now, as you can see, we do work kind of in an assembly line here. I work right here in position number 1, pulling the candy cane, making me the candy cane puller. Right here in position number 2, our daughter Abby will do 2 jobs. First off, she'll roll the candy cane, making her the candy cane roller. Then my wife Susie down in there will hook the candy cane, making her the candy cane bender. Careful now, that is my wife. And also down there stacking the candy canes, making her the candy cane stacker. I've actually worked here for 46 years, almost 47 years. Me and my wife have owned the store for 39, almost. Next, in about a week, we'll be beginning our 40th year of owning the store.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
So there's our brown stripe. And then we'll put our orange stripe on that side. Get it around like that. So now you can see we got our brown and yellow here. You guys bowl? Like to bowl?
Yeah.
Take that out of the lines. Give you a little baseball bat. Now without the 5 strings, it's really kind of hard to give you my guitar riff, but an idea, or maybe a big giant fish or a whale. With a candy cane tail, yes. We're just going to stretch it out a little bit here. that in for a little later. And I'm just going to begin to stretch this out here. I'm going to get it just the right length and thickness. We're going to give it a little twist. And voila, we have candy cane. We're going to put it in our press here, which we don't have out, so that's all good. So I just got this little bit left, so all that's already pulled out of it.
The guys here at Logan's Candy making some cotton candy right here. Look at this, watch this. Ah, come on, you gotta come on down and get you some. It's delicious.
Making root beer pillows, so we'll bring out a sample in just a minute. Yeah, root beer flavor.
Look at this little piece. Get this little piece.
So we're decided to make a batch with no flavor whatsoever. So we're not adding any flavor, we didn't actually add any color to it. And we're going to try just a sweet batch of ribbon candy. So we've been talking about doing it for years, never did it, but this is actually the batch here. So we thought we'd give it a try. So we're just stretching it out just like we normally would, but there's no flavor whatsoever here. So far it seems to be pulling about the same. We'll see if it's the same once we get to the table. So same exact recipe could technically be candy canes or ribbon candy at this point. So he's going to make a bit of a teardrop shape here. And that's going to be our center stripe right there. So I'm going to stretch that out a little bit. Then this piece here is going to be the edge stripe right there. It may not make sense now, but it will eventually, I promise you. So. Not quite so hard, we don't want to crack it. Slip out of your hand. Stripe on one side of the block, and I'm going to go like that and have it on both sides of the block now. So there's my stripe. Now I'm going to put on that outside edge stripe, so I'm going to stretch this out a little bit. Seems so weird not to have a color in there. Stretch it out. So we've always eaten little pieces off the table and thought it tasted so good. That's what part of the reason we thought we should try this without a stripe on it here. So I'm just going to stretch this around like this. Just like that. Now there's our outside edge stripe. It looks like something from what? There you go. I like that. So this is either a turtle shell or maybe a toilet seat cover, I guess. I'm not really sure there. So now we're going to keep it in the heater. We're going to begin to stretch it out. And it's going to take us about 25 pieces to get the stripe the way we want to, I think. So we're just going to stretch out here a little bit. And actually, we're going to go ahead and bring you guys out some samples and let you give it a taste. On vacation, you're in the woods, maybe in the mountains, the beautiful air, just breathing in the air. Well, we've made that in candy. We like to call it pure and simple. Sugar, sugar, pure and simple. Give it a try. It's the best.
Can you just decode what he just said, Mom?
It's just cooked sugar. It's amazing.
And you can see it just keeps getting lighter and lighter. How many of you guys saw the movie Tangled? Anybody see the movie Tangled? Doesn't that kind of look like Rapunzel's hair there? And then you'll notice as it gets lighter and lighter, it kind of starts to look like Elsa's hair from Frozen. And just a few more pulls here. We'll take it over the heater and put it all together.
They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky.
You guys like to try a warm sample of orange creamsicle? Can you catch?
Whoa!
Make a little Dodger blue because the Dodgers are going on to the next round, baby. So quite excited. Look close there in the end, man. They pulled it out in the ninth there. They Now I'm going to separate this into two pieces here. The smaller piece here on my left is going to be the stripe of the candy cane. And the larger piece here on my right is going to be the white part or the flavored part of the candy cane. I'll mix that right in there. Just like that. Now remember, this bigger piece here is going to be the white part. This is where we're going to put all the flavor. And we'll show you how we do that here in just a minute. Peppermint flavor. So 3 times stronger than normal. That is less than 1/4 of an ounce there, and that's all it takes to flavor the entire batch. Luckily, it doesn't take too much because it does run about $500 a gallon. Now, it does happen rather quickly, so you guys want to keep your eye on the big blob up here. Not on me, the big blob on the slab up here. We're going to roll this guy out right here. And there it is, you guys. Thanks for coming. Hope you enjoyed the show, you guys. There it is. All right, just kidding, just kidding. Thought maybe I could go home early. Now we're going to do a couple things up here on the hook as we're pulling it out. Number one, we're adding a little bit of air to it. Also the stretching of the sugar crystals. And you can see with each and every pull, the color gets a little bit lighter and a little bit lighter. We're going to actually do 2 big giant blue stripes. So I'm just going to stretch those out up here a little bit. There's stripe number 1 there. It looks almost black, but it is hopefully Dodger blue here. We're going to stretch stripe number 1 right on top of the block there, just like so. There you go. Then on the opposite side, we're going to take our other stripe here, stripe number 2. We're going to set him right here on the other side of the block, just like that. So now, as you can see here, on this side here, I have my 1 big stripe. On this side here, we have stripe number 2. Anybody out there bowl? Maybe you can take that down a lane, try to knock that down. In honor of the Dodgers, maybe a nice big baseball bat they might need there for tonight, actually, right? Now, if I had 5 strings, I'd play a little guitar riff, but gotta kind of use your imagination here. Or how about this? I got the blue going on, so how about a big giant blue whale there with a candy cane tail? Of course, it just looks like a big giant Dodger cane to me, so.
Things about our handmade candy canes is how at the end the batch changes colors. It keeps us thoroughly entertained here and we just love it. See how they started out really traditional like this and then they just get to this gorgeous crazy variety that just keeps us so happy.
in two pieces here. We're going to actually do a large amount of purple, or grape in this case, because we're going to actually wrap it in a purple or a grape color. So we're going to add a little bit of color to it now. And a little bit of purple here. And since we're going to mix our own color here, we're going to actually add a little bit of pink. So we'll add just a little bit of pink there too, like that. Now normally we only add the flavor of the bigger piece here, which is going to be the white part of it. But since we have a little bit larger piece that's going to be purple, this is actually what we call the wrap. And we'll show you in just a few minutes how that comes to fruition here. Now we're going to add about 1/3 of an ounce to this one. And then we're going to mix it in just like we did the flavor and the color on the last batch. Very similar to the way you might with baked whites at home, or how when you stretch out a rubber band, the color lightens up a little bit. Same process there pretty much. A little bit of stripage here. Stripage, that's just a good word, though, stripage. I'm not sure what's in the dictionary. And remember I talked about the blanket. There's our blanket right there. Stretch that out here a little bit. Stretching, stretching. Just like that. I have no idea what I'm doing here, so just bear with me. Hopefully it'll come out right. Hi guys. So there we go. We got just about that right size there. We're going to put it in the middle. We're going to wrap it in our blanket. Put it in the manger. There we go. Just like that. So now we've got our purple base. And we're going to stretch out our stripe here. Stretching, stretching. So remember, this is exactly like candy canes. The only difference is we're going to shape it a little different now. Stretch that out here. And I've striped just about the stripe length we need it. So now we're going to take our block and set it here. So now I've got my white stripe on one side of the block. And I'm going to wrap it around like that. Now I've got both sides of the block. And we're going to put that stripe around the outside there. Just kind of hot glue it to the outside, if you will. It's still so warm. Just sticks right to the outside there. So now what we have here is either ribbon candy, some sort of a turtle shell, or maybe a toilet seat cover. Literally shoot up there. I'm going to stretch that out here. That's going to take us about 20 pieces to get the stripe just the way we need it. Technically, it could be candy canes or ribbon candy at this point. So we're going to start out with a red coloring today. We're just going to put a little bit of color in there, like so, and mix it. This time of year, we carry about 7 or 8 different flavors. We're going to add just a slight more flavor to it real quick. Just add a little cheesecake. And we're going to add a little cake batter. More cake. And then we'll mix that in here. Just like we did the color, but we're just going to mix the flavor in a little bit. You can see with each and every pull, the color is going to get a little bit lighter and a little bit lighter. Very similar to the way you might whip egg whites at home, or how you stretch out a rubber pan and the color lightens up a little bit. We're right over here in front of the table, and we'll put it all together. A couple different pieces here. Make 4, should be enough. We're going to cut our yellow right down the middle. We're going to cut our pink right down the middle. So there's a little bit of white. I'm going to maintain that red in there. Next we're going to do our yellow stripes on the outside of that. Keep that in front of the heater there for just a second. You're going to take our white stripes, going to add a little bit more white. If you mix the 2 colors together, then of course you end up with a 3rd color. So we're going to put our 2 white stripes on the outside of the yellow. Put 2 pink stripes on the outside of that. And now I have a race car full of colors here. So we're going to begin to stretch this out here. This is actually going to be the stripe of our ribbon candy. More stretching, more pulling. I'm going to take my big white block. We're going to set it right on top of the stripes. So now I've got my stripes on one side of the block. We'll wrap it around. So now I've got both stripes, both sides of the block wrapped with stripes. It's still pretty warm on there, so we're going to wrap that red around there like so. And as you can see here, we either have ribbon candy, a turtle shell, or some sort of a holiday toilet seat cover. I'm not really sure what's there. Stretch it out just a little bit. Also, if you guys get a chance to check it out a little bit later, walk around the store, we have other candies that we make right